Hello, my dear friends. Welcome to my stream. There were some problems with YouTube, and I couldn't start the stream. I didn't know why, but now I think it's okay. Let me check on my iPad if it's working. But now I think it's okay. Yeah, but I don't see any picture. Let me check this. Yeah. Now you see video that I have made today, and I will make a voiceover, and when something is very important, something that I want to talk about, I will stop and give you some explanations. You can also ask me some questions if you want on the live chat, and I will give you immediately, I will give you an answer. Okay, so I'm starting the video, and then we will go on. Let's start the video. This will be a really difficult video because there are a lot of people going up and down here, but I will try to give my best to make a video. As you see, the brake system is absolutely empty. The reservoir, there's absolutely no fluid in it. Yeah, as you know, I installed everything new braided brake line, also new pistons in the caliper, new new seals, everything is new. Okay, let's go on. About my brake fluid change. At this moment there is absolutely no brake fluid in the system. As you saw before, I changed the brake lines. On the video now you see the installed braided brake lines. The mounting was really easy. As I told you before, I have the original ones, they have the same lengths, and there's no difference between the original and the aftermarket ones. Just better quality. And the mounting, I used all the same mounting points as the original brake lines. So it's very stable and good mounted. Difficult to show you, but I used the same mounting spots. I have 4 mounting spots, and I could use all of them because it's exactly the same lengths like the original line. On the picture you see this Stahlbus bleeding valve, and I will explain you how to use this one. The bleeder valve consists of 2 parts with a setback function. In the bleeding and thinning, only the upper part of the valve is opened. This is the upper part, and the size of the Stahlbus valve that I bought is it's M8 with a thread size of 125 and a thread length of 16 millimeters. That's the right Stahlbus valve for the Cygnus X. Yeah. When you have different vehicle, you may need a different size, but it's not difficult to find it out. So I will go on now. In the process to let the air out of the system, I open this half turn. Here I did a mistake. My mistake was this. Once you have a system without any brake fluid, you don't open the upper valve half a turn. You have to open it 2 turns, 2 full turns, not a half turn, not 180 degrees. You have to make it 720 degrees, 2 turns, you know. And I didn't do this, so I filled up brake fluid in the reservoir, and it went into the system, and I saw bubbles. A lot of air was coming out from the reservoir, and I was filling up the system. But when it's the first time, you have to open the valve much more, 2 turns, and then the brake fluid will come out, and also the air. But I didn't do this, so I was waiting for a long time. After I stopped the video, I found this out, and I made the brake fluid change in about 10 minutes. It was very easy, but it was the first time. I also did one more mistake, and my mistake was to use a plastic, what is the name of it? Plastic hose. I didn't use a silicone. You have to use a silicone hose in order to pump up the fluid. Plastic is not soft enough. It's not tighten the edges of this valve, and the brake fluid will come out here from the side. It's a little bit a mess, but you have to have some water there, and you have to wash it up. But the best equipment is silicone hose. It's the best one, but I didn't have one, so I did it with a plastic one. But it worked out, you know. I will go on now with the video. And the connection to the brake caliper here. Yeah, the connection to the brake caliper, the thread size, which is M8 with a thread size 125. Once you install it, you don't move it then anymore. It stays there. You don't open it. It stays there. And then you tighten it up with 6 Newton meters. It's not very tight. It's not a lot of force. You know. You have to be very careful not to harm your brake caliper. It's not going to move any more. I used some Loctite to fix it, and you just open this here, half a turn, and you close it. It's 6 Newton meter. You can do it with your fingers. You don't need any. You don't have to do it with your finger. You can use a small wrench for it, and yeah, but maybe a small wrench is better. Tools for it, okay? The entire bleeding process. Now I'm using the official. Now I'm reading some of the manual, and yes, it's good and important information. Information from the company. The entire bleeding process can be completed in just a few minutes by yourself without assistance. Hidden air bubbles are flushed out of the system due to the high volume of fluid forced through the bleeder valves. So the process is told to be to the instruction manual. It says first rotate the upper part of the valve with a half turn to allow the valve to start the bleeding process. By pumping the brake lever, the pressure opens the check valve ball, and all the air and the bubbles are forced out of the brake lines. As soon as we release the brake lever, the pressure is released and the check valve closes immediately. Therefore, no air can penetrate into the brake system and only fluid and air can exit. Close the bleeder valve with a half turn at the end of the process and check the level of your reservoir. At this moment I have no fluid in the system and everything is empty. And here is the mistake that I have done. When there is no, as I said before, when you don't have any fluid in the system, you have to open it 2 full turns. But I didn't do this, just half a turn. So I will start now. I hope it's okay. Also, it's very difficult to film and to do this work at the same time. It's difficult to work with one hand and having the phone in the other hand. And yeah, I have to find a solution for stuff like this, but you cannot work very well if you just use one hand. It's working well. Here's, you see the reservoir, it's empty, 2 screws. Yeah, I'm working one-handed now, it's quite difficult. I don't like it, it looks too dirty. I will clean it once again. Yeah, but first the important work and details later. If you have any questions about the video or about the process, just feel free to ask in the chat. I will answer you immediately. As you see, the reservoir is absolutely empty. It's difficult to work like this. As you see, many people throw their trash on the street. Germany is not the same country as in the past. Believe me this. As you see, here is a rusty bolt. I will change this bolt, but now it's working, but I will change it when I find a new one, a better one. After all this process of when it was finished and the brakes were working very well, I went to washing place and I washed the whole motorcycle in order to protect the paint from any brake fluid. You never know. And I also made a lot of braking tests, and braking power is superb. The brake itself, it's one of the most important components on your bike, and it's a process. You lose performance year by year, slowly and slowly, and you don't register it. So it's not just changing the brake fluid and changing the brake pads. There's much more important stuff that you have to do with your brake calipers and your brake system. What is very important, to keep it clean, to check it and demount it and check the pistons, you know. The pistons have to move freely and easily. Often the pistons don't move very well after a lot of time, when your bike or your scooter is outside and it is confronted with salt and harsh conditions and a lot of dirt and debris that is coming from the street. It can stop the pistons to move very well because the dirt can go to the side of the piston where you have your sealings, and the sealings after a few years, depends on the conditions where you live, they lose their ability to stop the dirt and debris from coming inside the brake system. When you have when the sealings lose their function and dirt comes into the brake system to the side of the pistons, it will affect your braking power a lot, and it goes slowly but steadily to the wrong direction. So maintenance of the brakes is so important, my friends. So what I suggest you, when you make your brake maintenance, this the caliper, dismount it and take out the pistons, you know, take out the pistons and check the O-rings, change them, check the place where the O-rings sit, if there's debris inside, clean it, and then mount it again and use it in a clean way. It gives you much more better performance. So I will go on with the video now. As you see, the cap system. Yeah, many people don't do this work with the pistons of the brakes. It's so important. And never use a metal brush to clean the pistons.
It's a plastic hose.
Use a toothpaste.
An empty bottle.
Toothbrush, sorry. Toothbrush.
It comes
Soft material. Soft. But here you see that I use this hose, this plastic hose. It's a wrong material. It's much too hard. You have to use a silicone hose.
Yeah, silicone hose would be better.
Yeah, as I said, plastic hose makes no sense. You don't have any good yeah.
This plastic one, it's not so good.
There's no good isolation of the edges of the plastic hose. Don't do this mistake. Don't go for cheap. Yeah, it's difficult to work with one hand and holding the mobile phone in the other hand.
Now I will take some brake fluid. This one, DT4.
DOT4 liquid moly.
DOT4.
By the way, these are winter tires, but you can also use them in the summertime. They have a very good. It's a very good compound.
2 holes. I will fill it up.
foul. I don't want to have any brake fluid on the scooter.
This is the right way.
I do.
Protect your paint.
Protect.
But for me it's not so important because all the fairings I have them new painted and they're ready to be installed. I will show you some videos when I do this work. I will open a topic in one of the next videos about the fairings. I will make a lot of videos about it, and I have all the fairings new and painted. But that's for another day. Okay, I will go on now. I'm pumping. You see the air bubble? There's much more coming. Now my mistake was not to open the valve 2 turns. That's the reason why it's so slow now. But it's working, still working.
Check if it's open.
Pumping.
It takes longer time because it's the first time. Because there is
Yeah, you see a lot of air bubbles over there. Yeah. Okay, now I stop the video. That's all for this video now, and I finished the process after I stopped the video in about 10 to 15 minutes, and I also made a test drive with the new brakes and they're so strong. I'm really happy about the result. I have really good stopping power. Once you have this, you will never miss it again, and you will maintain your brakes. Okay, so thank you my friends, and see you in the next video.